Hey y'all, I hope everyone's having a wonderful and fruitful hump day. I just wanted to take a second and share with you guys something that my husband and I experienced about 2 months ago. And so today I'll be sharing with you guys our miscarriage testimony. So going back to when we found out we were pregnant, it was a week before Mother's Day. And so I was late. I took a few pregnancy tests and it was positive. So I was extremely excited. It took me a couple of days to tell my husband because I wanted to surprise him. So it was the longest 2 days of my life keeping that secret. So I ended up telling him and I videotaped it, and he was extremely excited as well. So again, with that being Mother's Day weekend, when we go home, we ended up revealing to my mom that we were pregnant on Mother's Day and that she was going to be a grandmother. And so it was just a really incredible experience and time for us. Well, fast forward to an evening in May when my husband and I would end up meeting at the gym because we were going to go work out. So I use the restroom before I change and I see blood. So I go outside and I tell my husband and I tell him, hey, I'm bleeding. And I understand that that blood is normal for some women, but it really freaked me out because I hadn't seen blood in a while. I'm pregnant. And so we just started praying because obviously, we're just kind of trying to stay calm. And so we just prayed and, okay, let's go to the ER. Well, on the way there, I ended up calling one of my friends who's had a miscarriage. And so I asked her, I tell her what's going on. And she says, well, it'd be best if you just made an appointment with the midwife. That way that they can check your HCG levels because there's not really anything that the emergency room can do. And so at this time, I don't really have a midwife yet because, mind you, I've been pregnant for 2 weeks. So I just go home to relax. I'm extremely tired. Like that day, I just recall being extremely tired and my back was hurting really bad. So I just went home and I went to sleep. So I was in and out of sleep the whole evening. I was cramping, extremely painful cramps. It was really one of the most painful experiences, both physically and emotionally. And I was bleeding so much. I was literally bleeding through everything. And so finally, I had to tell my husband to go to the store and get me some more pads because I'm out. And so I just go back to sleep and I'm waiting for him. In the meantime, I'm just up and down, still bleeding through things. So it comes to a point where I am just like, okay, I'm going to stay on this toilet because I'm tired of getting up. So my plan was I'm just going to sleep on the toilet because there was so much blood. And so I'm just on the toilet, I'm crying, I'm in pain, I'm scared. I'm like, I don't really know what's going on. I'm praising the Lord. I'm just, trying to really just get through this experience. And there was a time where I passed a couple of really big clots. And I knew that I had passed the baby because being a woman, you just kind of know what's normal and what's not. And that was something that I've never seen before. So I just knew then that I had passed the baby, and I was still, crying and cramping and bleeding. And I just heard the Lord say, trust me. And I was like, okay, Lord, I don't really know what that means, but okay, I'll trust you. I'll do it. And so I just kind of stayed on the toilet until my husband got home, and after that I went to sleep. And the next morning when I woke up, I could tell that I wasn't pregnant anymore. Like the pregnancy hormone had subsided so much. Like my breasts weren't sore anymore. My body wasn't filled up with fluid like it was. I could even think clear. Like my thoughts were just so clear. And I was like, wow, like that kind of confirmed what I had thought with the night before when I felt like I passed the baby. So lo and behold, I ended up going to the midwife to get my HCG levels checked the next day, and they said that they were really low. I miscarried when I was 7 weeks, and the HCG levels were in the 200s. So they said usually that is when the egg and the sperm first unite, when the child is first conceived. So that confirmed again that we did have the miscarriage. So one thing that I really learned, or that helped kind of reinforce the miscarriage, or a few things that kind of helped me get through it. One of the things was just finding things to be grateful for, like the fact that I wasn't further along. Like, that was really grateful. You know, some women, they have stillborn children, and so I was just trying to be grateful for my portion. Another thing I was also grateful for was that my body did what it had to do in order to get rid of everything that was inside of it. After the miscarriage, I bled for about a week, up to a week, and I still had cramping and clotting up about 3 or 4 days after, and it was, like I said, it was really, really painful, but through the process I was just grateful, you know, that my body was getting everything out, because sometimes women, they have to get a procedure done where they go in and they scrape the rest of it out, because not all of it is coming out the way it needs to. So I was really grateful for that. And I was also really grateful that I had my husband there and the support system that I had. One of the things I was also grateful for was that that God was, you know, he was there, like, speaking to me with this whole thing, you know, because I was pretty much there by myself. My husband went to the store to get me some pads, and so it was really one of those things that just kind of reinforced that God, like, I was just so grateful that when he says in his word, like, I will never leave you or forsake you. Like, it doesn't matter the time of the night. It doesn't matter whatever it is that you're going through. I was just so blessed that I could rely on his word, even in one of the darkest moments in my life, just in the bathroom on the toilet. You know, and I just give him all the glory. I'm just so just grateful that God uses everything for his glory. One of my favorite scriptures, it just reinforced even through this, is in Genesis chapter 50, and it says that, talking about the enemy, it says that you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So I just love how whatever it is that we're going through, and whatever it is, whatever trials and tribulations that we find ourselves in, and tragedies that we find ourselves in, that I don't believe that God makes that happen, but I do believe that God may allow things to happen, and I do believe that God uses everything. He may not, it may have been something from the enemy, but God will still turn it around and use it for his glory. So everything that the enemy tries to use against us and throw at us, God is so sovereign, and he's the beginning and the end. So he's like, well, that still glorifies me. So I am just I'm just so grateful for just the experience. I'm grateful for just what I've learned through it. I'm even more encouraged in my faith, and I just want to encourage you guys. You know, that's one of the point of this video, is just to encourage you guys. It's not a video for pity. It's really just to allow God to continue to have the glory in even the darkest places in our lives. And I really just want to encourage you guys that he will never leave you. He will never forsake you. Whatever it is that you're going through, that you think that God is not there, he is closer than ever before. So just rely on him and draw on him. And really, at the end of the day, even if the Bible says that all things work together for good, they may not all be good, but all of them work together for our good. And we really just embrace even the trials and even the tragedies in our life to continue to give God glory. And I'm just so grateful. Like I said, it just proved his faithfulness in my life, and I am just so hopeful. And you guys, I just want to encourage you to just run after God, pursue God with everything that is in you. Whatever it is that you're going through, just continue to seek after him. This walk is not easy, God. It's not for the faint of heart, but I promise you guys that it's worth it at the end of the day. All right, you guys, take care. Thank you for listening and allowing me to share my heart. And you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.